Good afternoon, everyone. This is Laura Tibbetts in the system office. I'm showing that we have a quorum of our committee. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Chair Lee to start the meeting.
Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Telephonic Finance and Audit Committee meeting for February the 14th of 2023. The time is 3 o'clock on the button. Notice of this meeting was provided to the Secretary of State as required by Texas Government Code. Please note the audio of this meeting is being broadcast live. Laura, with that, let's begin the roll call.
Thank you. I'll start with you, Chair Lee.
Present.
Regent Austin?
Present.
Regent Crane?
Present.
Thank you. And do we have Regent Scott with us? Okay, he said he might join later, not be able to attend. And then I see Regent Flores.
Present.
Thank you. Any other regents on the call? Okay, moving down to the TSUS staff, Chancellor McCall.
Here.
Daniel Harper.
Here.
Carol Fox.
Here.
Sean Cunningham.
Here.
Derek Alexander.
Here.
John Hayek.
Here.
Pierce Mitchell. And do we have any other system members on the call?
Kelly Wintemute is here.
Oh, hi, Kelly. Thank you.
Thanks.
And then moving down to our institutions, beginning with Lamar University.
Mark Robinson, Lamar.
Jamie Larson.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Okay, great. Sam Houston.
Elisa White.
Amanda Withers.
Thank you. Moving down to Sol Ross.
Carlos Hernandez.
Bonnie Albright.
Thank you. Texas State.
Kelly Danfus. And Eric Algo.
Okay, thank you. LIT.
Sid Valentine and Rudy Gonzalez.
Thank you. Lamar State College Orange.
Tom Johnson and Mary Wicklund.
And Lamar State College Port Arthur.
This is Mary Wicklund sitting in for Dr. Renard.
Great. And did I miss anyone on roll call? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Daniel, Carol, and I had the opportunity to review the agenda prior to this meeting. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Daniel, who will present the Finance and Audit Committee agenda items. Daniel?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item is the authorization to set meal plan rates for the fall of 2023. So this item would impact Lamar University, Sam Houston, Sol Ross, and Texas State. Each of those four institutions have outsourced food service operations. For context, the average cost per meal is around $6, and the overall dining operation is around $43 million in expenditures last year. The proposed increase would generate an additional $1.7 million to address food and labor cost increases at those four institutions. Each of the four institutions are proposing a 4% increase. For Lamar University, the meal plan will be around $1,800 per semester. For Sam Houston, around $2,500 per semester. Sol Ross, $1,900 per semester, and Texas State is $2,000 per semester. And those are for what we call the all access items. Mr. Chairman, open the floor to any questions on meal plan rates.
Any questions from regents or anybody else on the call?
All right, hearing none, the next item is for residence hall rates, also for the fall of 2023. And this is at Lamar University, Sam Houston, Sol Ross, and Texas State again. The proposed increases generate around $2.8 million in new revenue, and that's off of around $91 million of expenditures. And housing at these four institutions is all handled, I guess, in-house. For Lamar University, they're proposing a 2% increase, And for a single two-person suite, that would be around $3,200 per semester. Lamar University has 2,500 beds and they're 90% occupancy. And I'll note that all first-year full-time students are required to live on campus. Sam Houston's proposing a 3% increase. Their options range between $2,600 and $3,500 per semester. Their housing inventory is around 4,100 beds, and they're at 93% occupancy. And I'll note for them that they recently had a new residence hall that came online for this fall semester. Sol Ross is proposing a 5% increase, and their housing options range between $1,800 and $3,300 per semester, and they have around 600 beds. And then Texas State is proposing a 3% increase. It starts around $3,300 per semester, and they currently have 6,800 beds in their inventory, around 95% occupancy, and they have plans to add 2 more dormitories in the coming years. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the layout for resident hall rates.
Any questions from the regents or anybody else on the call related to residence rates?
All right. Well, hearing none, we have the next item is our supplemental resolution. This is the 28th resolution, and every February the board has considered and approved that authorizes the system office to issue debt for the next 12 months. The resolution includes a maximum amount of $1 billion to support any new debt, including any refinancing of existing projects. Right now, we have around $100 million on commercial paper, and then we have some new projects, most of them associated either with the dormitory at Sam Houston or some new projects that the state will be paying the debt service on that we may look to issue this coming year. And then when we go to market, we'll see if there's any refunding opportunities that may be available to us. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes the presentation on the supplemental resolution.
Any questions from the regents or anybody else on the call related to the supplemental resolution?
The next item, again, is an annual item that the board considers, and this is the delegation of authority to the chancellor to bind the property insurance coverage for the upcoming year. Our property insurance expires April 30th, and we've historically done an annual policy. The current premium is $7.5 million. We cover $4.7 billion in values. And for this upcoming year, it will be going up around 12%. And our current rate is 16 cents per $100 worth of value. As many know, and our region Amato knows well, that the property market continues to harden. So it's not moving in our favor, but we continue to make all the efforts we can and look for options to get the best risk and make sure that we're maintaining the appropriate risk transfer. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my layout for that item, and then we'll have one informational item in the consent agenda.
Well, I can attest that the insurance market has definitely hardened. It's impacted, I know, a number of us, and I applaud you for your efforts to do what you can to keep those rates reasonable. Any other questions from the regents or other members on the phone today?
So the next item, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, last item. Yep.
Yeah, so when we have one informational item, which is the status of the implementation of the audit recommendations. And then the last is the consent agenda. The first item on there is an amendment to the Airmark contract at Sam Houston that would be the conforming changes to the resident hall rates or the dining rates we previously discussed. Sam Houston's proposing for their alternative teaching certificate program to do a restructuring on the cost model. So they want to move from the traditional tuition and fee model to a program fee, just a flat $6,000 for the students that enroll. We have a contract between TSUS and Gallagher to do insurance broker services for the next 5 years. We also have a contract between TSUS and Timely ND for the telemental health services. And then the last item is the quasi-endowment report. And you'll notice there's a small withdrawal at Texas State from their NCAA scholarship quasi-endowment that they present annually. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my layout of the informational items and the consent agenda, and concludes the presentation of the Finance and Audit Committee items.
Thank you, Daniel. Any other questions related to the consent item and informational item that Daniel just laid out from either the regents and or members on the phone?
Duke, this is Duke. I just have one question. Daniel, when you get your rates, I'm assuming you're doing that on a consolidated basis and then pushing it out into the individual schools. Do they know to expect those increases as they set rates for dormitory and things of that nature?
Yes, sir. So we push out, so they work with me to make the schedule, so they know that their values are going up by 12%. And then we have put out that we are having a placeholder for a high single-digit rate increase. So they use it for planning purposes.
So the increases that we just talked about, they would have covered these kind of costs and those increases?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have. We're also seeing the same thing, so great. It's a tough market. Thank you.
Do the committee members agree to move all the items to the full board for approval? And I'll ask each regent present to approve. Regent Austin?
Approve.
Regent Crane?
Approve.
I'm not sure if Regent Scott joined us or not.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so, okay. And I approve as well. And I believe that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks to everyone for calling in. And unless there's any further discussion, this concludes our telephonic meeting today. For the record, the time is now 3:13. I look forward to seeing all of you next week, and look forward to a great set of meetings. Thanks so much for being on the call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.